I'm Zara Green, and this is
Alfred Edmond Jr.
We're coming to you again from the Grown Zone. This is part 2 of a 3-part series entitled Why You Get Treated Like Crap in Relationships. The first one was Mistreatment is How People Show They Care. And again, we're addressing belief systems. This one is Love Requires You to Tolerate a certain amount of mistreatment.
Yes.
And this is, y'all, this is the biggest lie. I'm telling you, this is from the pits of hell or whatever's deeper than that. That in relationships, you just have to tolerate a certain amount of mistreatment. Everybody deals with something, is what they say.
People who are already in unhealthy relationships get pushed into marriage for this belief, and then they get pushed to stay in the marriage no matter how bad it gets, because love is, you're supposed to tolerate a certain amount of mistreatment and you're supposed to deal with it. And there's so many relationships that never should have happened, certainly marriages that never should have happened, because even when the people who come to your wedding know that you're not being treated well, they're clapping their hands and waving because you're going down the aisle and you're about to seal this thing.
Well, see, and that's what I was about to say.
Yes.
People, what they don't recognize is you are consummating whatever is in your relationship. So if there's a certain level of mistreatment, if you're being called bitches and hoes, if you are if the money is not coming to you, if there's a certain amount of financial violence that's already happening,
or if there's infidelity, whether it's emotional or sexual before the marriage, it's not going to get better.
It won't change, y'all. I know what they say. Just pray, and once you get married, then
take your vows before God, and everybody's just gonna be magically transformed. No, that's
because there are 3 people in the relationship. Yes. Come on, y'all. The divorce rate and so much more says that you have got to get smarter in love, and that's what we're saying. Stop with all of those pie in the sky expectations about what relationships are. Now, marriage ain't for everybody. Marriage, you don't have to get married. You do have to have healthy relationships. That's what we say in the Grown Zone. If you don't have to, you can stay, in a mess. But we're saying if you are interested in healthy relationships, if you are interested in living in the Grown Zone, as we call it, then it's your responsibility to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to be a healthy individual so that you can have healthy relationships and don't tolerate nothing less.
So let's talk about this idea of forgiveness, which is the main, misunderstanding that makes people tolerate mistreatment in the name of love. Mm-hmm. The person violates you once, and then they violate you again, and you're being taught, whether inside a religious context or outside a religious context, that if you love them, you just got to kind of forgive them and keep taking it. Well, you got forgiveness twisted. We address this in the Grown Zone. We address it in our book, Loving in the Grown Zone. Forgiveness is an opportunity to correct. It is not permission to repeat.
But here's what happens. Mm-hmm. When you accept it, the first time it's a mistake. Okay. All right, first time, I'll give you that. But when it continues to happen, that's not a mistake, y'all. That person is conditioned for that thing.
And that becomes a choice.
It's a choice. And if you are constantly forgiving it, then what you're doing is giving permission. You've basically said, this hurts me, but I am going to allow it. Yes. And nothing is going to change with us. You may protesteth much, as I often say. You may curse the
person out. You may throw dishes. You may give them the silent treatment. You may withhold sex. But the bottom line is you're accepting the choices, and it becomes a pattern of behavior.
And here's the reality. It is not within your power at all to change a person, but it is your responsibility to establish how you need to be treated.
So you need to reject this idea that love requires you to tolerate mistreatment. It never does. If it's healthy love, it does not require that.
That's the standard.
Honor, esteem, and
for
respect.
Healthy relationships. Honor, esteem, and respect. If that's not there and it's not the foundation that y'all communicate on all levels, that your relationship stands on, then it is not a healthy relationship. It's time to change the conversation about what real love is.
If you're dealing with honor, esteem, and respect, you only have to forgive one time.
That's all. Because the person not only cares about you, they really are a person of their word, and they really are looking at doing better.
Yes.
And living a next decision better kind of lifestyle.
Yes.
And if they're not, you've got to love you more. Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right. Until next time, live
And love.
in the grown zone.